Good day, folks. Good day. Good day. Hope y'all doing well. I'm doing great. This one is entitled Understanding Dimensions. Okay? Understanding Dimensions. Now, there are multiple other dimensions out there, okay, but we're going to focus on the third, the fourth, and the fifth today. All right? I want to start by saying this. We often hear these terms, right? In the spiritual community or on a spiritual path or post awakening, we come across these terms, right? Third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, shifting, timeline, ascension, all of these terms, right? So we're gonna break down some of these terms today to get a better understanding of what these things mean. So let's take ascension, guys. We're gonna start with ascension. Okay. So to ascend is simple, right? Ascension is simply rising up, right? Going up, right? Ascending, going up, right? And it simply means we are rising up in vibration, we are rising up in frequency, we're essentially rising up in consciousness, right? So that's ascension, guys. All right. When we're raising our vibration, we're raising our frequency, right? We're going up in consciousness. We're going up in frequency, essentially. Okay. And now let's talk a bit about the dimension. It's a bit jarring, right? When you come across these terms and you don't have a full understanding of what they mean, all right? And from the way we throw them around, they sound like locations, right? Like we transitioning to a new location or something. But essentially, it's just a elevation in your consciousness, right? It's just a elevation in your frequency, elevation in your vibration, okay? So they're not referring to like a different location. We're still here on planet Earth, okay? New Earth. It's not like a whole new place. Third dimension is still here. Fourth dimension is also still here. And fifth dimension is again still here. Okay? It's just a state of being, right? A state of consciousness, essentially. Okay? And in order for us to transition from one dimension to the next dimension, it will require what? Ascension. We talked about ascension is what? The elevation of consciousness, right? The elevation in frequency, the elevation in vibration. So in order for us to transition from one dimension to the next dimension, we have to ascend. Okay? Now, ascending is something that happens automatically. Okay? But in order for you to be able to ascend, you have to be ready. Okay? You have to have done the work that's necessary for you to advance to the next level, essentially. Guys, I think I'll have to move. I have to change locations, guys. The crews came over there with the machinery, making a lot of noise next to me, so I had to move. They're cutting the grass, trimming the lawns and whatnot. So anyhow, guys, as I was saying, these dimensions, we often hear about them, and I know for me that was the case. Okay, we often assume or think that this is like a different place, right? Third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, new earth, ascension, all these terms, right? And we kind of get lost as to what they mean, right? Especially the dimensions, we assume that we are going to a whole new place, or like you hear something like new earth, like we are leaving the earth to go to a whole new earth or something, right? Guys, this is not the case, okay? This is not the case, and that's why I wanted to do a bit of a deep dive on this so we get a better understanding, because I know I struggle to understand it in my case. So if I struggle to understand it, I'm sure some of you guys are still struggling to understand it. New Earth and fifth dimension essentially is the same. It's just a state of being, okay? A higher level of consciousness, essentially. All right. So we're gonna break down the third, fourth, and fifth dimensions, okay? And then we're gonna talk a bit about what's involved in each dimension. As I mentioned earlier, in order for you to advance to the next dimension, you have to ascend, right? It requires you to ascend. Ascension is simply going up, okay? When we ascend, we go up in frequency, we go up in vibration, okay? We go up in consciousness, essentially. And in order for us to ascend, we have to be ready, okay? We have to be ready to ascend, all right? We have to have done the work that's required at that level where we are at, okay? That dimension where we're at, where we're ascending from, we have to have completed enough work at that level, at that dimension, in order for us to ascend. Okay, you could compare this to like a video game where in order for you to advance to the next level, you have to complete certain tasks at that level where you went. Okay, so you beat that level and then you advance to the next level. Okay, ascension happens automatically, as I mentioned earlier. All right, and it's required for you to complete the work, the necessary work at the level where you're at before you can move forward. All right, and it will happen automatically. Okay, so let's take each dimension. All right, like I said, we're gonna focus on the third, fourth, and fifth. There are other dimensions, okay, but we're not gonna talk about those. We're gonna focus on the third, the fourth, and the fifth dimensions. All right. So let's start with the third dimension. So the third dimension, which a lot of us refer to it as our physical earthly dimension here. Okay. This earthly plane is ego based, it's fear based, and is usually ran by man created systems. Okay. It promotes separation. Okay. It promotes things such as greed. Okay. It promotes big bang take little bang. Okay. I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. I'm gonna take yours type deal. Okay. So if you experience these things, then you are essentially on the third dimension. Okay. It promotes this idea of man created systems. Okay. Man created systems, or the matrix as we uh, have come to know. Okay. And so these systems are designed, okay, on the third dimension. You are essentially being trapped, okay? You are being imprisoned, okay? Indirectly, of course. You are indirectly being imprisoned because it's ran by man created systems, and these systems are designed to take, okay? To take, all right? Where, like I said, the big bank takes the little bank, all right? Where you have a group of controllers, okay, a group of what we call controllers, all right, the powers that be at the top, okay, and they design these systems and put them in place to take from the small people, essentially, all right. It's designed to mentally imprison you, all right, and keep taking from you, keep siphoning your energy, essentially, all right. It's designed to keep you down, all right. It promotes fear, all right, and it promotes ego because the big people, they have to satisfy their ego desires, okay, and so they keep taking from others, all right. and it promotes fear-based because it uses tricks such as if you don't do this, then this will happen. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. In everything we do, there are laws. Okay, there are spiritual laws as well. All right, but these man-created laws are being manipulated around the spiritual laws, essentially, to siphon your energy. All right. So we could look at institutions such as certain corporations. Okay, who the controllers of that corporation are at the top, getting richer every day off of the bottom level workers, okay, who are going out every single day and putting in work and sweating and breaking their backs, okay, but only being paid pennies of what they're actually earning, all right? And who's getting the bigger portion of what they're earning? The controllers at the top, okay? We could also um, talk about institutions such as religious groups who, under the pretense of protecting the individuals, brainwash them, okay, to be a part of that religion, essentially, okay. And that there are many of these institutions. There are corporations, there are government agencies, there are religious institutions as well, okay. But the idea is quite simple. It's all designed to trap you, okay, and psychologically manipulate you into believing that you're actually getting something from them. Okay. But in essence, they are trapping you so they can siphon your energy. And at the end of it all, you realize that you've been fooled or you've been brainwashed. Okay, so that's the third dimension, right? Man created systems, man created laws, man created rules. Okay. And it's ego based, it's fear based, right? And it promotes what? Separation. Okay. I'm big, so I'm up here. You're small, so you stay down here. Okay. It promotes separation. It's highly ego based, right? Before we go to the fourth dimension, guys, there are things that will happen for you to be able to ascend to the next dimension. Okay. One of these things I would say is awakening. Okay. A spiritual awakening. When you awaken spiritually, guys, that's when you begin to see the systems for what they actually are. Okay, so at this dimension is when we go through a spiritual awakening. Okay, that's what's required essentially for you to ascend from the third dimension. Okay, it caused through spiritual awakening. All right, when you awaken, guys, and you start piercing through the veil, right? You start seeing these systems that you've been a part of. Okay, you start seeing all of these things that's been happening, okay, all along. All right, that's we've been blindly following and how they siphoning our energy and all of that. Okay, so that's the third dimension. All right, now let's talk about the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is typically post awakening. Okay, once you will go through a spiritual awakening and you begin doing some work on yourself, okay, what we call it the shadow work or what we call it the inner work, okay, when you begin to heal yourself, begin going through doing the inner work, doing the shadow work that's required, okay, you're going to come to a point where you're going to focus on absorbing knowledge, okay, absorbing wisdom, absorbing knowledge, absorbing information, okay. So this is essentially the in-between dimension, all right? And this is the dimension of clarity, I would say, okay? Because this is where a lot of things begin to make sense to you, okay? You begin to gain a lot of clarity, all right? Because why? At the third dimension, you've been brainwashed, okay, to forget who you are, to forget your power, and all of those things, all right? And you've been contributing to systems that you had no idea were designed to enslave you, Okay, so now you awaken at the third dimension. Now you start elevating, right? You start ascending to the fourth dimension, right? And this is where you begin to what? Learn, guys. You begin to learn. You begin to absorb information. You begin to uh, gain clarity. You begin to gain understanding and understanding and overstanding of everything that's been happening around you and how this whole system is designed to work. Okay, so at the fourth dimension is the in-between dimension. Okay, now you're kind of like one step in the third, one step in the fifth almost. Okay, because you're kind of stuck in the middle where you understand that the third dimension is ego based, is fear based, is following man design laws and rules, man design systems. Okay, and you're realizing your potential. Okay, you're realizing your power essentially. Okay, so you're starting to see beyond that. Okay, you're starting to see your abilities and capabilities beyond that. All right, so you're not fully in the system, but you're also not fully out of the system, essentially, right? You're in between systems. You're in between the fifth dimension and the fourth dimension. So at this dimension, you may exhibit some of the things you learned at the previous dimension, at the third dimension, because you haven't fully embodied the new dimension yet. Okay, the fifth dimension, you haven't fully embodied it yet. You're still learning essentially. You're still absorbing information, you're absorbing wisdom, you're absorbing knowledge, all right? You're learning, you're seeking clarity, and all of those things. Okay, so again, at the fourth dimension, you know what the matrix is, you know what the system is designed to do, and you're not fully in it. Okay, you're not fully a part of it, but you're still not fully out of it either. Okay, you're still learning, and essentially, it's your stepping stone to the next dimension. All right, so that's the fourth dimension, guys. The dimension of gaining clarity. It revolves around seeking and learning. Okay, gaining wisdom, gaining insight, gaining knowledge, gaining clarity. Okay, you're seeking, huh? And you're learning. All right. So, as we said, the third dimension will require you to awaken spiritually. Okay. So now you are at the fourth dimension. All right. You've ascended to the fourth dimension. And in order for you to ascend to the next dimension, okay, which is the fifth dimension, it will require you to what? Do a lot of healing work on yourself. Okay. Do a lot of healing work. Okay, and start disconnecting from these systems that were in the previous dimension. Okay, so at the fourth, okay, what's required for you to move to the next level, guys? You have to heal yourself enough. Okay, you have to heal yourself enough to begin embodying your truth, essentially. Okay, to begin living your truth. Okay, you know what these systems are at the previous dimension. Okay, so you have to start disconnecting from some of these systems. Okay, and as you disconnect, huh, it will help you elevate you to the next dimension. Okay, so the more you let go of these systems, the more you let go of some of the things you learned in the previous dimensions, huh, the more room you make to absorb what's in the higher dimensions. Okay, so that's the fourth dimension. All right. In order for you to elevate to the next dimension, which is fifth, you have to what? Heal yourself, heal your traumas, and begin to let go some of the things that you picked up. Okay, the things that are keeping you bonded to the systems that are in the third dimension. Okay, the things that are keeping you stuck in the third dimension, keeping you bonded to the third dimension, you have to begin to let go of some of these things. Okay? It could be systems, it could be self-limiting beliefs, it could be a lot of things. Okay, cultural beliefs, societal norms, societal beliefs, and all of those things. Okay, So you begin to disconnect from that. And the more you let go of these things, the more you let go of the third dimension, essentially, all right, and fully get ready to elevate, all right. And like I said, ascension will happen automatically, okay, when you are ready, okay, when you have done enough work at the fourth dimension, you will automatically elevate to the fifth dimension. Let's talk about the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is essentially unconditional love. Okay, that's the language. That's the main theme here. Okay, so remember I said at the third dimension, they promote separation. Okay, this group of people don't mess with this group of people. Okay, this uh group of people are superior to this group of people. Okay, this uh culture does not agree with the views of this culture. Okay, this religion does not agree with the views of that religion. Okay, this society does not agree with the views of this society. Okay, so that's the third dimension. All right, it promotes separation. At the fifth dimension, guys, it promotes oneness. Okay, we start to realize that all of these systems and all of these labels were created to separate us, okay, within that third dimension, within that false matrix, within that matrix like we talked about, okay? They're created to keep us separated because guess what? When we're united, guys, we're stronger than the system, okay? And in order for the system to take control of us, they had to outsmart us. And the only way to outsmart us was to create division, okay? So they created division amongst us and had us fighting with each other, okay? Had us not seeing eye to eye with one another, okay? So we became weak, and that was a way for them, huh, to overpower us and take control of us and keep siphoning our energy, essentially. So at the fifth dimension, we grow to understand the importance of oneness, the importance of unconditional love. Okay, there's no more separation consciousness here. Okay, it's universal consciousness. We start to realize that we are all one, no matter what our skin color may be, or what part of the world we're from, okay, what part of the planet we happen to be, okay, we are all one no matter what culture we belong to, what country we belong to, what society we belong to. It doesn't matter that we are all one, okay, and at the end of the day, we are all here to do the same thing, okay. So at this level, guys, like I said, it's unconditional love, it's universal consciousness, okay? And it promotes oneness, all right? And the themes here is creating, okay? We're creating the new. Having ascended from the previous dimensions, we understand that when someone is treating us a certain way, is just a reflection of their level of consciousness, essentially. Okay, it's a reflection of their level of consciousness. So we become more and more understanding, and we um, start to believe and understand that everybody is at a different level on their journey. Okay, so the way someone may treat us is a reflection of the level we're there. Okay, so we can't expect everybody to be on the fifth dimension, essentially. Okay, we can't expect everybody to be on the same dimension at the same time because we are awaken at different times. Okay, and we elevate or we ascend in frequency based on the how much work we've been able to do on ourselves or how much work we've been able to do at the previous dimension. So we can't expect everybody to be at the same level. We can't expect everybody to be at the same dimension, have the same knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Okay, so we tend to I want to say become understanding of others. Okay, that the way others treat us is a reflection of where they're at. Okay, the level where they're at. Okay, and so we become understanding, and we learn to embody universal consciousness. We learn to embody unconditional love. Okay, and this is the level of creating the new in place of the old. Okay, creating the new in place of the old. But you have gathered along your journey, sharing that with others to help them elevate. Okay, to help them rise up in consciousness, to help them ascend. Okay, so you're creating a new, essentially a new system, right? Which is based on love, which is based on unconditional love, which is based on universal consciousness, and those type of things. Okay, so at this dimension here now, you see everything, you know everything, okay, for what it truly is, and you understand that everybody is at a different level, okay. But the most important thing is that you embrace everybody the same, you accept everybody the same, all right. But most of all, you begin to create, okay, you begin to create the new to replace the old, okay? The old systems that have been used to brainwash us. You begin to educate people, you begin to enlighten others, you begin to create the new systems that is based on love, that's based on unconditional love and universal consciousness to replace the old systems, okay? That was created to enslave us essentially. Okay. If you enjoyed it, guys, by all means, drop a like on there, share your thoughts in the comments. As always, guys, subscribe to the channel for more. Okay, we keep these videos coming on the daily. Okay, so I hope I made it clear enough. Of course, if there's anything I forgot to add that you would like to add, by all means, chip in. All right. So let me leave it here. Until next time, guys. Peace, love, and more life.